for putting in syrups for children medicine. Children cannot drink medicine which is bitter. So you have syrups. These are being imported. So when you hear that it's too much, it's not that surplus is still artificial. But besides, this is precisely what the NRM has been telling you. Don't talk about the tribes, don't talk about the religion, talk about Uganda. But besides, Uganda is not enough. Talk about Africa. This crossing your borders, this one has crossed this border, this one has crossed. It's because the borders are there. If the people are united, which border are you going to cross? Huh? So we need a political movement in Africa working for the prosperity of the Africans to economically and politically, in some cases, economically for the whole of Africa. I support the economic union of the whole of Africa. But for political union, I think it should be those who are a bit near, like East Africa. East Africa, for the last almost 60 years, we in our group have been working for the political unification of East Africa. So these arguments, the Kenyans have stopped the milk of Uganda. How would they stop? It's one country, East Africa. These Sengenges are the ones allowing all that confusion to go on. Sengenges called borders. This barbed wire. And people have been talking about tribes and religion. Now, let the tribes now buy our sugar. Because we've got a problem of sugar. You buy it. Come here and have tribal songs and then we'll buy sugar. And then the priests, people who use religion, let them solve the problem of the market, because now we have a problem of the market. Our medicine for prosperity is creation of wealth and jobs. But once you create jobs and wealth, you have the problem of market. And the bigger the market, the better. That's the line of the NRM. What is the line of those who talk about tribes and about religion? So therefore, it is time for the national conference, because we are supposed to have a national conference 2 times in a term. So this time I said, but on our side, apart from what I've said about the market, there are things we can do better to improve the image of the NRM, especially for the smaller people. For the big people, those who are commercially enlightened, the only problem they have is corruption. Corruption by government officials who waste a lot of their time asking for bribes. It's a very big shame. But I can assure you, I'll have a very big war with them. Some people want to do work. Somebody says, you give me shares in your company. Shares for which you are not going to pay. And what if she doesn't want to work with you? If he wants to work alone, even if you had the money, So those are enemies of Uganda. Many of our children go to the Middle East to work there. And they are exploited by these companies exporting labor. Pay 9 million. Pay what? The issue that I hear, those Arabs pay fully for any person they want. They pay the passports and all those expenses. They pay for them. So why are these companies taking money from these children? This is a big shame. Nobody in the NRM should belong to that type of group. And when you hear that and you keep quiet, you are also an enemy. So the corruption is the one going to interfere with our industrialization. Otherwise, we are moving very well. But I can tell you, I will not tolerate any corruption. Now, if we handle the issue of corruption, then the other issue that we should handle is the issue of homestead incomes. Because when I come to the villages, this is the big problem. During my recent walk, I was happy to hear the people where I was stopping giving the testimony for the Operation Wealth Creation. Because they were saying, Emwanyizo Zajja, meaning that at least for the coffee, it came, coffee seedlings. Other things never come. Emwanyizo Zajja. That's what the people are telling me. You can see what the people are telling you is politically loaded. Because they are used to working with leaders who are dishonest, who don't care about the people. This is not good at all. And the village people are very simple, easy to deal with. You don't have to give them money, you give them advice. Don't tell me those stories. I know those stories. I have led villagers in war. Listen to me. Villagers were shot. So you say where the guerrillas are. He refuses and they kill him. He doesn't reveal where the guerrillas are. And we are not giving anybody money. It is the way you approach them. You should approach them truthfully. Don't give them false hopes. Educate them, explain. Don't just come and talk. Oh yeah. No. Mbeo. I'm going to go back to the Royal Triangle and I will show you what mobilization means. This one I was just passing through, trying to consolidate my anti-fat campaign. Because I don't like fat. I had allowed myself to have fat. Until Dr. Achen took us for a health walk in Kororo. And I was born again. I will never have fat again. So in the walking, I wanted also to exercise. But I'm going to go back and I will show you how to mobilize, at least this area where we are fighting. So please, using the parishes, let's make sure that as many homesteads as possible go into income generation. Ruzige told me that people in Mitiana have woken up, that now how many percent is Ruzige here? Ruzige? Huh? Navakoba, what did Ruzige say? Navakoba? How many, what percentage is in agriculture, in money making now?
Thank you, Your Excellency. He talked about 54% in money-making economy. 54%.
Instead of the 32.
Yes, Your Excellency.
So, because you remember, according to the census, only 32% of the family of the homesteads are in monetary economy. But because of the campaign, they are now saying that in Mitiana, the figure has improved to 54%, which means only 46 are still in the Okora Ichida Chonka. I want you to assess what's happening in your area there. So, the second point after corruption is household income. Let's take this as very, very serious. We have now started these funds by Kasoro. Is Kasoro around here? Huh? Kasoro, come and talk about the funds we have started.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, you directed that I work with other DCs and the other leaders, including chairpersons, NRM, MPs, and other leaders in every district, to mobilize our people who are into specialized enterprises and create 17 circles per district, plus one circle for leaders right from LC1 to the district. Your Excellency, honorable colleagues, listen to me. Your Excellency, this is a new initiative, and the colleagues must know this. This is a new initiative, and we are starting to implement it. So I began with Central Region, Your Excellency, because the funds were not yet available. So I started with the low-hanging fruits. Your Excellency, Honorable Kasaija has now released the funds, and in the first week of February, we are going to Busoga and other sub-regions, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, I want to invite my colleagues to work with me, and today I have received a clear testimony from the leaders from Greater Mukono, Your Excellency. When I went to Greater Mukono, these people welcomed the idea, they have mobilized the people, they have sensitized them, they are ready to take off. So this is a new initiative. Colleagues welcome it. Welcome the initiative. We work together to help our people and fight poverty. Your Excellency, that is it. I thank you very much.
Now, honorable members of NEC, honorable members of NEC, let them, they will come down. Let them, they will come down. Honorable members of NEC, Jesus was born in Palestine. But after some years, Even the son of Kaguta in Ntungamo became a Christian. So, if Kasoro has started in Buganda, because that's what we are now. If Kasoro has started in Buganda, and we are now accusing him of Bugandaism, let us give him a chance, because Buganda is part of Uganda, and by doing something there, he will eventually come to us. Let's put more money in that vote in the coming year. For me, what would concern me is whether the model works well somewhere in Uganda. If it works well, even if it is in one corner, it means that it will work in other areas. So let us give it support. Now, the fourth area that I would advise NRM people to concentrate on is the issue of land evictions, evicting villagers from their vibanja, especially in Uganda here. I don't support that activity, and I'm going to resist it. And I want to thank the leaders who have helped me in that one. It's not fair. It's not good. These peasants are the ones who are supporting us. We cannot allow them to be victimized. The other day, I stopped in Kalongero, in Masurita, when I was walking, and my Barugwara there is a group of Barugwara there who are supporting us during the war. They were crying about these landlords. This one we shall not support. I want to tell you that. Then there is the question of stealing of drugs in health centers. I have put a new Minister of State in that ministry. She's always very active. I hope she will apply her weight, which is not small, to that issue. This is Nabanja. I want you to fight the drugs, the theft of drugs. So therefore, on the issue of ideology, I wanted to update the NEC to say that what we have been telling you for the last almost 60 years is beginning to bear fruits which you can see. This surplus of this, surplus of that, surplus of that is because of what we did in the past, and it shows you that what we are telling you was correct. So let us intensify and correct and fill the gaps. The second point, why I invited this conference, is on the issue, is an organizational one. It's really very important for you, the leaders, to be clear when you are handling things. For me, the most important is ideology and strategy. I get bored when I go to meetings, people are talking about PR, to meet this one, meet the other one, meet the other. But I have never met Jesus, but I am a Christian. I've never heard that Jesus called a meeting where I attended. Because Jesus wrote his things, they are there. So I can read them. I don't have to meet Jesus. I have never, at least the Pope, I met him. But I am a Christian by reading, not by meeting anybody. Because the Christianity is written about, down. Love God with all your heart and with all your might. And love your neighbor as you love yourself. Do I need a meeting for that? This is the teaching of Jesus. That's what he taught us. Secondly, love even your enemies. Because if you only love your friends, even the makafir do the same. That's what Jesus taught. I have never met Jesus, but I am a Christian because of what he said, what he wrote down. So this business, you waste a lot of time meeting. There's some confusion there. Understand the message and pass it out clearly through the cheapest way, which is the radio, which is what. So that's why for me, I emphasize ideology, and then strategy. Strategy is how do you implement your beliefs. Ideologies are the beliefs which are from the diagnosis. You diagnose it, you prescribe it for society. That's your belief. That's what you believe can save the country. Then the strategy is how do you now implement it. Now, then there's organizational work. How to organize administration, what. So, the second organizational issue that we discussed in SEC, and I'm now presenting to you, is the issue of the primaries. These primaries have become a problem, mainly because people go in politics as a career, as a job, and then they treat it as a matter of life and death. They do everything possible to cheat, to do what? To win. Now, you remember how it all started? Originally, we used to have like the electoral college. Electoral college, delegates would meet and select candidates. But because of that, because of this corruption, the delegates were being given money to vote for this one instead of the other one. So the people went against that. And now we had to go for a mini general election within the party. Everybody voting. And logistically it is it's too much for the party. And then it also doesn't solve the problem of transparency. Because you hear people still complaining, I was cheated. So that's why we said, why don't we go for lining? We said, hold on. We said, why don't we go for Please. Why don't we go for lining? Then, because lining is clear, nobody can say I was cheated, because everybody will see. But since we started, please listen carefully. Listen carefully. When you come to these meetings, come with your ears open so that you listen carefully. So now when this idea was floated, then some people brought 3 points against it. Point number 1, you may have politically discordant couples. With AIDS, we normally have some discordant couples. One of the partners has got AIDS, the other one does not have. But apparently in politics, there are also discordant couples. The husband is UPC, the wife is NRM quietly. So they are now saying, if you vote openly, what will happen to the discordant? Because, please listen carefully. Listen, please. You come to meeting. You know. For me, you young people. I am 75 years old. I have no blood pressure. I have no sukari. And if you bring trouble, even today, we can sort out issues here. Now, one of the problems is that I never get anxious. Anxiety is not good for leaders. You do what you should do, and you live you also. I see you going to church every Sunday. I don't know why you go there. Because I do my work without leaving anything undone, and I leave the rest to God. And because of that, I am a very relaxed man. Even in war, even what, that's how we manage it. But if you are anxious, worried, quarreling, Mugenda as a pressure, you are going to cause pressure for yourselves. So listen carefully. The argument is this discordant couple. The wife was secretary NRM. In the house, she was UPC, but in the box, she was NRM. So they are saying that if we go for this lining up, you expose this quiet NRM person, or vice versa. Listen. That's one argument. The other one is that the idea that when people don't vote for you, it will cause emparana. It will cause. Listen, please. You know, for me, what I do is just logic. I go to a meeting with an open mind. If I get good arguments, I can abandon my original position and go with this one. I have no, because it's not a matter of life and death. It's a question of what is the best. So, the second idea is that when people line up, they don't line up behind you, then the disappointed leader will be on bad terms with the people who did not vote for him. That is the second reason. But when we weighed this in SEC, you know, medicine, when you take medicine, many of the medicines cause side effects. Side effects. So, this medicine for cheating in the primaries, we can see that it may cause some side effects, like the discordant couple who now comes up, and the other one who wants to mistreat the people who did not vote for him. But even with the secret ballot, people take positions openly. You find a candidate has got a task force. They are known. The task force of so and so. Then they hold meetings. You can know who is going to whose meetings and who is not going. They even put on clothes. These shirts, like you put on Museveni's shirt. Somebody calls a rally, and some come, some don't. Those who come are the ones who support. Those who don't come are the ones who don't support. So, the question is, the discordant couple and the ones who fear not to be known that they didn't vote for somebody, are they the majority? Or they are there, but they are not the majority. And since we want to really deal with the majority, so that they stop what they call okwekwasa, to what do you call rekwaso? Like pretexts or blaming. I did not win because they cheated against me. So, because we want the majority of the people to stop that, even if there is a 10% or even a 20% who didn't want to be known, should we continue quarreling with the 80% because of the 20%? Why don't we try this method and see how it solves the question? How it solves the problem. So that is to answer. Please listen carefully. This is to answer the issue of the discordant couple and the issue of being known that you didn't support so and so. Now, finally, there is an argument that even if you have lining up, if somebody loses, he can still come back as an independent, because the issue of independence is provided in the Constitution of Uganda. So unless you amend that one, this fellow can come back as an independent. Yes, he may come back, but he will be weaker, in my opinion. He will be weaker because he will no longer use the excuse that I was cheated. He may say that my people were intimidated, they didn't come, and so on. But still, it will be more difficult for the independent, in my opinion. But finally, you see, me, what I don't want is something that takes people from the party, from the leadership. Because now you find people are blaming weaknesses in the primaries on the leaders. Tango Doi, I don't know who. Let's now put the issue of the primaries in the hands of the people themselves. Now, elect your own people. You know, when we came in the government, there were very dangerous campaigns, like the issue of land. The issue of land. Somebody, please stop the whispering or murmuring. You are not even whispering, you are murmuring. When we came into the government, there was this issue of land. The NRM wants to take our land. They got these areas. The NRM wants to take our land. I picked this one up. When we went to the CA, I advised our people. Because at that time, the Uganda Land Commission is the one which was controlling all the land in Uganda. It's the one which was giving the land titles and so on. So my advice was, please, the land of these fellows, you give it to them. Let them manage it in their district, land board. So we said, land now belongs to you, the people. And locally, it will be managed by the district land board. Because they were sort of saying, you know, Banyankore want to come and take our land. I don't know what. Said, okay, now you manage it yourselves. So now that argument died because we saw it and we removed this. Okay. Now this issue of primaries, we should and give it to the people, so that the party is not blamed, but it's also the issue of expense. Too much money, you know, a party trying to be like a government. It's too much. Separate ballot, I don't know what. Then Tango Doi with 6 fellows, he has got his small group of 6 people at Semera, I don't know who, running up and down. But I'm going to call it Okururuta. When you put something small in something big, that's what they are doing. So it will also solve our problem. They just become record takers. That's why we are proposing it. And we have thought about the side effects. Like there's a time in 1972 when we were fighting Idi Amin. I came from Tanzania during Christmas of 1972. I came from Tanzania and infiltrated into Kampala here. I was in Ndeba, staying with James Kasozi, one of our people, and I got malaria. So Kasozi took me to an African doctor who was in Ndeba there, and he gave me an injection for chloroquine. It was really itching, but I got cured. So let's take this medicine and we see what happens to the side effects. I thank you and I wish you good luck.
Let's give a round of applause to His Excellency. You can resume your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, for avoidance of doubt, I'm going to guide on the next steps. But first of all, we thank His Excellency for all that he has